Today I'm going to tackle the garage door openings. I've found that with every other example online they're different because the hip's usually at the front, as my hip of the roof's rotated the other way, so everything's a bit different. And the toughest bit was putting the center in and lifting that into place. That was a doozy because it's a thicker gauge. Yeah, the frame's stronger. It's really weird that they make it's a different gauge thickness in the posts and the purlins compared to the center. So lesson learned. Lifting that into place, yeah, a lot harder work. You'll probably see it in the video if I do upload it, but it was a doozy. All the girts are in. I still have to do the wall girts off the back here. I got the glass sliding door going in, and the next bit to tackle, and the side access door, which is sitting here on the ground. I've had fun trying to call roofers to try and do this job. They're apparently like backed up for the next 6 months, some of them, but I do have one guy coming out today to look at the job. Fingers crossed. He said maybe 2 weeks. So yeah, finding trades, that's probably the hardest part of this, and essentially taking on this whole job by myself. Some people would say, yeah, it's easy just to pay people the money. My issue was that within the year and a half of getting this on the ground, prices had gone up 35 to 40%, and I'm over budget because the way things are going at the moment financially with the world. Yeah, so yeah, things are heating up really with costs, and hopefully we might see some progress hopefully in 2 weeks with this capped off. But I'll finish the video. I'll do some of the garage door openings and show how that's done. That's an interesting little project in itself, doing garage doors. Okay, how many days have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, day 5 of the garage build. Roller door jams and headers in. Someone might see the headers. Some of the companies tend to reverse it, but I've done it this way so that the Colorbond has something to fix to in that side, which is a weird thing. And the same thing, and I probably mentioned it in another little part of the video, that the rafters, the appeal is that you aesthetically have it face that way, so it looks cleaner from the inside. I had the roofer come out and they've had a saying they've got to add aluminium or a bracket to the inside so they can fix the wall sheets, the Colorbond to the outside. But yeah, day 5, initially had 2 of us, and mostly, yeah, back end, that took me by myself up and down the ladders a million times. Is not fun. Is an issue maybe with the lower dyno bolts into the concrete where the garage door sits, so we'll find out if that's another issue when the garage door guy sees it. Rear sliding door frame is in. That took me a few hours, so you got to cut the jambs to length with the angle grinder, and you'll see it just slots into the girt. Now, what else do I have to talk about? Yeah, the last piece to go in tomorrow is the PA access door. But yeah, access door. slow process. I don't think I'd ever want to do it again. I'm pretty tired taking on this project, but this is what happens when you're over budget. And I've got the roofers for 2 days. Very fortunate. Okay, the roof's on. For the size, 6.1 wide by 7.25 long, and it's taken the day to get the roof on. 2 blokes. Not an easy job actually. The guys have struggled to put them in. Fuck, I've just realised some of the sheets are screws aren't even in straight. Oh, fuck's sake. Yep. The other fuck up, insulation needs to be taped down. And there it is there. So that wasn't done. Anyway, day 1 of the roof. Probably one of the worst jobs out of all of them. As you can see, the roof has dipped about, it's over an inch in the centre. And I can show you why. So the size is 6.1 wide by 7.250 long. The design has not put in any apex or knee braces. I've called the engineers, and the Queensland Engineering Company, which I'll mention later, said that it was acceptable for it to span as much as 27 millimeters. As you can see, I've got a ratchet strap in to bring it in, because that's how much it's dropped. This is to prevent it dropping any further, but they're saying it won't drop any further. As the roofers have put the sheets on, this is sagged. So that, in my opinion, has failed. If you look at the lower, on the apex bracket, it's separated. There's gaps as the weight pushed it open. The distance from the center, from the base post to the other post, measured 6.815. From the upper, before I put the ratchet in, the distance was 6.842. They shouldn't do that. The engineering of this was lacking. The support for this garage, they don't give a fuck, to be honest. And I'm left with the design issue as the owner builder. All the sheets have to come off essentially to replumb this building. I just feel that it's unsafe, and utter regret purchasing this. $16,000 for what? It's just missing pieces. I'll give you another example of missing pieces. Top hats run, they were requested to be spaced at 1.1 every, so that lower top hat is at 200 millimeters, the next one at 1300, the next one I've done at 2250, which yes is 950 above that. It's within the under the range of 1.1, but even that, from that 2250 it goes up to 1368. And it will require another top hat purlin in that area, in that gap. You can't have a great gap. The gap is still greater than 1.1 within the apex. So that's another thing where they did not factor in drawings and missing measurements on the plans. I just want to thank when you said it was a basic Meccano set to build this. The roofing company, they've walked away from this because it's too much of a hassle. It could be engineering wise. You know, you guys produce these drawings and the engineering, you sign off on it. Look what you signed off on. You signed off on utter junk that actually does not structurally stay in place. I'd be ashamed of myself if I was the engineer. Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks, you guys. Tim, you did a great job with your engineering. I don't know where you get your degree from, but that is unacceptable. Absolute shit house. It's subparts. It's pathetic. So yeah, at least you posted out a beam to fix the problem. But I'm waiting on the detailed drawings for that. So you've sent that out, so it's obviously it's a problem. Don't go through these kit companies. It's utter garbage product. See ya. Garage build update. Now, these companies say that they're called shed safe, and I can argue that they're not shed safe. The engineer that gave the plans for this build did not specify an apex beam and the two knee braces, nor was it supplied in the cutting list or the part components list on the delivery. Other issues that are not shed safe. I've had to add a 4th top hat just in that section of the apex because they specify in the not on the plans, the actual diagrams didn't have it, but in the schedule it said space the top hats every 1100. Now when you space it every 1100, you still got a greater distance on there, so when you do your center wall sheets, when you put them on the wall, look, the gap was so great. Things were missing on the plans. The engineer was an absolute arse, in my opinion, and because the roofers came out, laid the sheets on the roof, and what happened? It fucking dropped. It dropped 40 mil, and it ran out. Here's the bracing, strap bracing, 27 mil. It pushed the walls out of plumb. So if you don't have any apex bracing in that, see, this is what it does. And if I had to order new roof sheets, that's $1,000. $1,000 F up because the engineer was lazy at doing his job. So yeah, you guys are really effing good at your job. You've been building garages for 20 years, and you don't even design you do under the minimum. Absolute disgrace. And the fact that no one was hurt, fucking unbelievable. So I wouldn't recommend this product to anyone. I wouldn't even recommend dealing with them because there's no accountability. They don't give an F. You ring the engineer, no, I'm sorry sir that I didn't add those components. But there you go. From one fuck up is a domino effect that it is very costly, and maybe, yeah, I'll seek compensation. But yeah, in this shed garage building game, they're cowboys. They don't give an F. They do the actual steel work, and what they add, they need to add more components. More components. There you go. So whoever watches that video, if you're from you know, these shed companies, garage companies, fucking add the extra top hat. Put them in the diagrams. Add every garage with any center post, and it doesn't have any mullion posts because it's dead center. Add the fucking apex brace. Add the knee brace. Yeah. If anyone's going to build one of these garage kits, highly recommend on the top, in the corner edges on the sides of the sheds, add 100mm by 100mm. It's like a flashing, and it ties in the walls with the roof, because when this rafter purlin, whatever you want to call it, when it's reversed, so you see this from the inside for aesthetics looks, adding this piece ties it together, especially when you finish off the outer sheets and the roof sheets. And generally when you look from the inside, it looks a lot neater. So if you're going to build one of these kits, I highly recommend getting that. And that was out of my cost to do that. The companies never supplied it or suggested it. That was actually suggested from the roofers. But there you go. That's number one tip to finish off and have it look neat when you do this project. After the last rant, I want to point out that when you're the home owner builder for projects, at the end of the day, all mistakes solely go on the owner builder. It doesn't matter even if engineers fail to supply drawings or specifications. The person building it, it's on you. So it might have been my first garage build, and it'll be a learning curve for anyone that does build these projects. After this first one, now I consider myself an expert in building garages. Not that I want to do it again. But yeah, that's the joys of taking on a project and trying to even save dollars. In the end, the cost to build it and my mistakes, I'm still under. But there you go, the joys of being an owner builder on projects. Remember, we all learn from our mistakes, and by making mistakes in life, that's the only way we can learn to actually progress and do things better the next time. But the garage is coming along pretty well, and the next stage I'll show you how I treat the flooring and seal the cement. Thanks for watching.